can never stand the smell.
I know. I don't even know why we bother drawing a bath. I doubt he cleans himself in it. Or at all, for that matter.
It made me sick once, you know? Legitimately sick. I stood a little too close for what must have been an hour. I mean, it felt like days. But then I was nauseous for the rest of the week.
I'd believe it. There's a reason I stay at the other end of the room when he's present.
Ugh, I've tried to. But he's always looking for an excuse to get closer.
At least he's too old and fat to give it much effort. I don't want to imagine what those poor girls went through when he was younger.
Well, hopefully he was at least handsome then, so it was more bearable. I bet the new girl... Oh goodness, I didn't see you there, I'm sorry.
Oh, the new girl! Oh God, you probably heard everything we were saying, didn't you? What a terrible introduction. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. You're too sweet. It's my fault, really. What about you? Are you all right? Oh dear, you did hear that then. Well, we were talking about the...
Ugh, who do you think?
Gallant?
Of course it's Prince Gallant. I'm just glad we don't regularly serve him. He's a nightmare to deal with.
What? Celine, you can't just say that to her. That's so rude.
What do you mean?
She just started working for him. She probably hasn't even met him yet.
She's got a right to know what she's getting into.
But she should form her own perspective. Maybe she'll like him more.
I thought you'd never defend that sexist pig.
What? Well,
Is he really that bad? Didn't you say you could hear us while we were walking? Well, I stand by what I said. He's a baby who can't even clean up after himself.
Well, he is old. Someone can both physically act like an old man, but have the mentality of a child, you know.
A disability?
Gods no, I'd feel horrid making fun of someone who couldn't mentally do what they needed.
How should we know why? Probably because he's filthy rich, protected from the world, and never worked a day in his life. Those born into wealth will never know how hard life can be, you know?
They really don't. They're a load of stuck-up snobs who just look down on us as free labor, because we need their coin to live day to day.
Hey, cheer up now. He's not all bad. I'm sure of it. You get paid at the end of the day, at least.
Well, you know what? You might be able to switch.
Yeah, switch who you work for. Well, you'd have to switch positions with someone else.
I'd do it. I mean, I would. I really would. You're brand new. You don't even know how to do your daily duties. I mean, look at you. You've already got some stains on your dress. He won't like that. You'd be chewed up and spit out in a day.
Or less.
Or less.
You're right, I do it too. You seem a really nice girl and I don't want you to lose your job only on your first day.
No, that'd be terrible. What would you even do? The whole town would know that Gallant kicked you out before the night was over.
Well, we both work for the General right now, but we've put up with the Prince before.
Damn, that must be a guard. We can't have him catching us talking about this.
Meet us in the kitchen in an hour. We can make sure your duties get switched, and we can handle the Prince's day to day until a new servant can.
Right. It's very easy. It won't take...
Simone, come on!
Right. 1 hour.
Huh. I could have sworn I heard at least 3 voices coming from over here. What are you... Oh. Hey, what's going on? You're looking a little lost. Oh, not physically. I have no doubt you know where you're going. I meant in your thoughts. You've gotten stuck somewhere in your mind, and it doesn't look like the most pleasant place to be. What's wrong? Are you the new housemaid? I thought you looked familiar. Do you not... Well, I guess not exactly. No, we haven't met. I have seen you around, and, well, I'm a people person. I like to know who's who and what's going on and anything new that I might not have seen. Oh? Of course I know about the prince. How could I not? At this point, I'm pretty sure he's well acquainted with everyone under the roof. Well, maybe except for you now, but that will change with time. Were you off to tend to his room? No, he's not there now. I just came from that direction, and it's pretty quiet. That might be a good thing, though. You could get scolded, you know, for walking around with food smeared on your dress like that. Oh, don't be so embarrassed. I'm not sure many others would recognize it to be today's lunch, and I know you didn't take it for yourself. But, I should say, those dogs are very well fed, despite what their wagging tails and pleading eyes might tell you. I did just say that I like to know what goes on, didn't I? It's very hard to get away with anything here and not have at least one pair of eyes catch you. You've done nothing wrong, though, so long as you don't keep at it till they're fat. Oh, they belong to Prince Gallant himself, of course. Most of the other mutts are too wild and trained for hunting or war to be allowed to wander the castle as they please. My prince has a different heart when it comes to animals, though, and treats them like he would his own children. Though, I guess that's hard to say, since he doesn't actually have any children. But the creatures under his command are widely loved amongst most any that live here. No children at all, much to his parents' disappointment. But he's still young, and has many years ahead of him before that becomes too late. Old? What? Who on earth told you... So I did hear 2 other voices a minute ago, didn't I? Well, the only reason you'd think the prince to be anything but his young, charming self is if someone told you, right? But who would say such a thing? That's so rude. Unless, of course, you were being tricked. There are only 2 that I can think of who would, bend the truth to be polite in order to get what they want. Oh, they want the prince, of course. Well, not necessarily, but Simone and Celine are not the biggest fans of our good general. Though I would blame that more so on them for picking the most abhorrent times of the day to do their work. It's always when the poor man has just returned and reeks of the field, or at questionable hours when he's finished dinner or a celebration with his men. Sometimes it feels like they do it on purpose. Maybe they do. Maybe they enjoy having something to complain about. It seems that way, at least. Sorry, I went a bit off there, didn't I? That was who you were talking to, though, right? I thought so. And I am assuming they said what they did about the prince Perhaps to convince you not to work for him. Oh, they blatantly asked you to switch, did they? That is too funny. But it's mean to pick on someone who's so new. Did you accept their deal yet? Then no real harm done, I suppose. Though it wouldn't have been the end of the world if you did. I'm sure you would be less of a pain on our general's side, and in return, he would be less of a nuisance to you. But it is funny to watch the three deal with each other sometimes. Do you mind if I walk with you? Thank you. This is a bit embarrassing to admit, but I'm not nearly as good with names as I am with faces. And while I have heard yours once before, I am failing to remember it now. Of course it is. I can't believe I forgot. It's a lovely name. I'm sorry. I forgot again. It's rude of me. Though I'm sure some people think it funny. Watching me go through whole conversations and using any nickname I can think of for someone who I probably have met 3 or 4 times before, only to ask their friend to please remind me what they should really be called after they've left the room. Maybe it's too much time with those beasts. They don't use names and probably make me forget to do so as well. Yes, those beasts, like the prince's dogs. I did say they wander these walls when they want. They're just so happy all the time. It's hard to not want to be around them. It's almost infectious, the joy and love that an animal can give you. So much better than most humans, at least. Well, here we are. What do you mean, knock first? I mean, yes, typically. Though I did see the prince leave very recently. I suppose he could have come back before then, though he usually locks the doors behind him. Or at least he does when he doesn't want to be disturbed. I must look terribly out of place, don't I? Oh, you are far too kind. I'm sure everyone here will come to appreciate that. Yes, even the prince. Why wouldn't he? Have I not convinced you from earlier that he's a better person than those 2 women made him out to be? Then why ask the way you did? Oh. I just seem to know the prince very well, do I? Well, of course I do. My name is Gallant, after all, and I am the prince. But it seems like you already had that figured out, hadn't you? Clever, polite, and sweet. You'll do perfectly here. Now, will you allow me to show you around my room?